as you can see, I have gotten most of Liam's details done. It's not totally done yet, however, he's getting pretty close there. And it's time to start working on a background, and then we can go back and finish up some of those details once we have the background created. We're not going to create the background on this artboard because I don't want you to get anything messed up or allow it to distract any final edits that you need to do for your actual tracing. So we're going to create a new artboard. Artboards are over here with the layers, and all we have to do is hit the new button, just new layer, new artboard, new whatever, and that's that button right there. And immediately a new artboard pops up. Just to keep everything easy, and because I'll have some things going off of the artboard that I'll need to take care of as we move along, I'm going to hide everything and lock everything on this other artboard. So pop back over here, and we are going to start working on a new layer. And that new layer I'm going to bring all the way to the bottom, and I'm going to immediately name it background. And with that being named background, we know that that is our background layer. And on this layer here, or this artboard, I'm sorry, where we have a layer, it's the same size as the other artboard. First thing, I'm going to go ahead and create a shape. This shape is going to encompass the entire artboard. Currently it has no fill because I didn't have a fill set. I do have a pink stroke for the outline because that's what I've been using with my pen tool when I've been tracing. So I'm just going to flip those colors, and now I have a pink filled background. Now you can't just have a solid fill. The least that you can have for your background is a gradient. So if I come on over to my gradient panel on the right and I click on the gradient, I can go ahead and decide what colors I'm going to make this gradient. And a little trick is when you're playing with your gradient, let me flip that, so now we have that, is that you can double click, or you can come on up to where your swatches are. I've created swatches as I moved, but where the other colors are, and when you pick different colors, you're able to actually go and create different things. And we've talked about when we click here, you can bring in the different colors, and of course my favorite color is purple, and I might as well stick with something that maybe would be kind of more boyish, since Liam's little guy here. And go to a blue. Actually, I'm going to swap this over here to a green. That way it's more boy-like. This is a linear gradient. It goes along a line. Radial spirals out kind of from the center. And you can adjust your different settings, how much green, blue, etc. all show. Also, you can add even another point. So when you add another point, you can make it whatever color you want, and then now you have multiple colors. So these are different things that you can do as far as a gradient goes. If you want to do something a little bit more, which I'd recommend, I mean, this is definitely something that'll look good and be kind of creative in the background. But if you want something a little more, we've seen some of those spiral backgrounds that is multiple colors. And I'm just actually going to delete the current one that I've got, draw new. So I'm going to swap, give it no stroke, and draw a new square. And with that drawn, I'm actually going to zoom out a little bit, and I'm going to use my tools to my advantage. I'm going to use the line segment tool, and I'm going to the center of my document, and I'm going to click, press shift, and drag to draw a nice straight line that goes right down the middle here. And I'm going to give it a black color for now. And I'm going to go to my move tool, right click on that line segment, that path, transform, rotate. I'm going to rotate at 20 degrees I'm going to hit preview so you see where 20 degrees actually goes, and I'm going to hit copy. When I do that, that made a copy of my original in that 20-degree rotation. By hitting Control D on your keyboard, that duplicates the last thing that you did. So I'm going to do that to go ahead and go all the way around. Now, with my selection tool, I'm going to go ahead and select everything here. This was one of the reasons that I hid everything on the other artboard. And I'm going to go to my Pathfinder tool. With the Pathfinder, I can then go and divide. When I hit divide, it actually took that main square and divided it into all of those pieces. You don't really see anything, but when you hover, you can see how everything is a little bit different here. So with that, I'm going to real quick, and this is a little thing that you guys can do if you want, create a new color group. This new color group has to be created when there is a color chosen here. And I'm going, oh, I added a swatch, sorry. I wanted group. I'm going to name it background. And in that color group, I can start by clicking, holding, and dragging that pink. I can double click, pick another color. I'm gonna hit OK, click, hold, drag, and drop it in. I'm gonna just use 3 colors here. Now, the point of doing this is so I can use it for live paint. Live paint allows me to use all the colors within a single group, and actually I'm going to change that color to being, again, more boy. Alarms all the time to remind myself of things. Let's go kind of a teal, and not swap that color. So with now my live paint tool, my live paint tool is under the shape builder tool, live paint bucket. And you see, because I was currently in that group, the little colors that are popped up above the live paint group are those in that group of swatches. When I use the arrow tool, I can shift through the different colors, and when I click, don't forget to create the live paint group, and we'll do that. Hold on. So to make this a live paint group, you need to make sure to first select the group of paths that you want to make the live paint group, and you can go to Object, Live Paint, and Make. And then when you do that, when you go to your live paint bucket, and make sure you are back in that group. Now when we click, whichever the center slightly larger color is chosen, that is the one that will actually paint. And then when I hit the arrow tool, right goes right and left would go left. And I'm just flipping the color each time, so that way I can end up with it being alternating colors. Now when you do something like this, you also want to make sure that you have counted out your pieces, because you don't want it to end up being something that is 2 colors next to each other, but this would actually create a really cool background. And I'll do a quick move of this whole group to the other layer, or I'm sorry, the other artboard. When I bring everything back, it takes a second for my computer because I created a really huge amount of paths. There we are. And now Liam is on this really kind of fun background. You can also do the live paint group using the pen tool to create a bit of a curvy path. So if you didn't want to do the straight line, you could have taken your pen tool when you did your path and gone and created something with a curve. The thing with this is making sure that the middle is in the middle, because when you go, and you don't forget of course to make that background layer first. When you go and you right click and you transform and rotate, you still want to do your 90 degrees, you hit copy, but you'll notice as I hit to make it go around, there's overlap. and it doesn't lay out as perfectly, so you might need to play with that a little bit to get that bit of a curve. But another little thing that you can do is use some of the tools to your benefit. These are all paths. So something else that you can do is using the different tools over here. My computer has a lot of lag. I also brought back the hidden layers. There we go. Slowly it's coming back here. Just got to be patient with these computers. We know that. But coming back in here, things like the twirl tool. You can go on a line and twirl it a little bit. And then you can really get things to get changed up. And this might be the better way for you to do things. That way you can get the results that you want and have a lot more control. And don't forget, when you double click on a tool, you can go and make this be a 1,000 point size instead of 100 point size. And when I hit OK, look how much larger that got. And when I click, look what happens. And then you can go in and enlarge that to fit into the space that you want it to be in. So you have a lot of options with that. You also can put different gradients into these instead of solid fills, and you can have full control over those gradients. So you just have to really decide which way you want to go about getting each of these filled, and I can show you all the different things that you're interested in class. The video tutorial for the animated background will be coming soon. Please let me know if that is something that you were interested in doing. Have fun, guys.